Hello everyone, welcome to week 21 of me talking impromptu. Last thing, few interesting things have happened that I could talk today. During last week, President Trump has released some files of UFO. People were actually looking for Epstein files, but those files were not released. Instead of those files, UFO files have released. And a special thing I have noticed is it is released from a website called war.org or something, war.department or something. So they basically highlight a fact for people that UFOs or aliens could be a threat for humans. One thing I want to make it clear for you is there can be aliens or there cannot be aliens. Let's talk about who might be aliens. The earth is habitants for humans, right? We have the oxygen we can breathe. There are no harmful chemicals for us to breathe in the atmosphere. This process on the earth, the trees and the nature purifies carbon dioxide to oxygen, and humans can breathe in oxygen and they exhale carbon dioxide, and the trees will absorb that and produce oxygen for us. So that is a process that made for humans on this planet, right? And there are other planets that there are different conditions in those planets. If we go there, it is not inhabitable for us because we cannot breathe those air. But there can be species who can breathe those air and who can live in those planets. And we haven't seen those species, and when we see those species for the first time, it can be so different to us. We can't give a name to them because they are not familiar for us. They are not familiar for human race. So we might call them aliens. But if you see a cat that walking here, right? You see a cat. How you know it is a cat that is walking? Because those type of species is everywhere in this earth, and our ancestors also seen that type of animal, and it is more common. So we have given a name called cat to that kind of animal, and if you see that kind of animal is passing by, we easily name them as a cat because they are not unfamiliar to us, they are familiar to us. So we have given a name and they are just living their life without any harm for us. And if you imagine that cat has consciousness like you, that can think and do something, still they are like humans. Like do we hate people for no reason? Do we want to fight with people for no reason? No. We think humans have the ability to think. Just like that, aliens could be some different species that we have not met yet, we are not familiar yet, but they have consciousness just like us. It is possible. But there's a news that going over the internet and the minds of people that aliens can be dangerous for humans. If aliens have that much of technology, why they haven't even come to contact with us or to fight with us? Because maybe they don't want to have a fight with humans. Maybe they are looking what humans are doing and they don't want to contact humans because we have not evolved up to that level to identify, like get to know them and build a relationship with them. Maybe humans have not evolved up to that level. What I see from the files that released from the US government and from a website called war.department or something, I believe they clearly trying to make an image in people's head that there are different species out in the universe that can be a harm to us, and they are trying to be the protector from those threats. When they create the imaginary threat in humans' mind, they can be the protector of those threats and fighting. Even those fighting can be a drama, can be created by studios. We don't know. But still, the threats and they're trying to be the protector can make millions for them, just like the wars happening in this world. Right now, we have divided and we have created the enemy, and some people trying to be the hero and they give excuses to be the hero and they're fighting each other, right? So when more people getting to understand that this is a drama that is doing by some organizations and few governments, they lose the trust in them. So I feel like this is a better way to for them to build trust by showing a common enemy for the whole world and trying to unite and support those governments, government of United States, and so they can be the protector against this threat. So that can be another agenda. Otherwise, why they have, if they have those files, they have keep that for them for like 50 years and releasing now during these war times and during people asking for Epstein files, and when they don't see a clear result over the fighting they have continuing, that giving various excuses for people, and people start to realize, and when people start to realize, they should give another distraction for people to distract from the real problems that happening in this world and focus about a different problem that is not even close to earth. For me, even if there's alien exist, I don't feel like they can be a threat to us. There can be bigger ones, smaller ones, like if you see an elephant, so big in size, right? But imagine that elephant has consciousness, can think for themselves. It is kind of same for aliens as well. And what made you think that aliens want to fight with us? Maybe they want to help us evolve in a much better direction. Maybe they want to help us, giving much better technology for us to make our life easy. But maybe humans are not ready for that yet. And imagine a system, a government that kept secrets from you for a long time, and during these wars and releasing some of those files, even people identify those files. They see very funny jokes on, funny comments on those posts as well. Right now what I see the best, the shining light in all this darkness is more and more people are awakening. They are coming into a realization that these governments and all these people who are in power and control carrying out some agendas behind that they don't know. And they come to see the reality of media, how media create the narration and manipulate people. And even I see recently that Netanyahu is saying that social media has become a threat for their governance. More people are mocking their agendas and their ideas, their excuses that they're given to carry out these wars. People are mocking them. People get coming into a realization what is really happening. They can be the best public speakers, but human heart can feel the pain of another human when they keep doing it over and over again, killing children, harming them, displacing them. People come into a realization, what are they doing? And they say they are targeting Hezbollah in Lebanon. But why they have to destroy each and every home in those regions, in those towns? Even in Palestine, they have demolished every land, every house. Even I saw a news that says they even bombed 4-5 times the same place again and again to demolish that. So definitely they are not targeting terrorists. They are they are carrying out a very big other agenda, that demolishing and reconstruction. Because even Jared Kushner, who is a friend of Benjamin Netanyahu, come into the media and say they have plans to reconstruct even before October 7th happens. That means there should be some scripts or their vision to carry out. Even Netanyahu was asked when is the war on Iran is over. His answer was not over. And even President Trump doesn't have the control to over or come into a conclusion, because President Trump is not the one who is deciding whether this war is over or not. It is Benjamin Netanyahu who decides whether this war will be over or not. And in a video, Netanyahu says that Israel have the best thriving Christian community in the region. And I saw so many news that even the people of Israel, how they are treating Christians in that region. Even the bishops are coming to the media and telling the truth, how hard for them to thrive into Israel. But when a good public speaker come to the media, and I don't know why people still follow those. Just because they can speak well, that doesn't mean what they say is moral or ethical or create a peaceful environment for people. While Netanyahu is saying that the best thriving Christian community is in Israel, one of the ministers in Israel, Ben Gavir, says the idol worshippers have no right to live in this world. He says around 6 billion idol worshippers should be killed according to Torah. And even one of my Muslim friends told me that they may be attacking Muslims first, but Christians will be next. They hate Christians more than the Muslims, because even Muslims are not idol worshippers. They want to take out of Muslim community, because if they don't do that first, they can't continue with their projects, bigger, greater projects that you might know. And after, if they have done it, then comes the Christians who are idol worshippers. That is so against their Torah or their religion. And that is the mindset of few people in Israel. But I see so many Jewish people who really standing against the genocides happening in Palestine or Lebanon or the war in Iran. They're simply saying that is a Zionist regime controlling the Israel. And when I looked into the history, I saw a funny thing that is important. During the British rule, before they had establishing Israel, one of the banker has bought so much land in Palestine. And that is how slowly they have built Israel, by bringing people to do the work, farming or agriculture, irrigation, and building infrastructure, the weapons and everything. It was funded by bankers. It feels like for me now the bankers are running the world, because when I see the history, so much bankers have supported British government. From the monetary system that exists in the world, they have gained control by giving loans to those governments. So the governments run on debt. Whoever controls the debt controls the government. That is their policy, that's their vision. So throughout the history, the bankers have supported the enemy and the other party, both the parties. They support both the parties. Even communist revolutions have supported, funded by the same bankers. If you think about why, how can their mindset to do such a thing? Because if you support both the parties, whoever wins, you are winning, because you are lending them money to carry out. So they owe you. So by owing them, they cannot do anything to you, because someone owing them. Look at how the world is moving based on the vision of few people who wants to keep the control to their system, to their family. So clearly British was supported by the same banks, and the same banks who control most of the Europe, and it could be the same banks who supported America with lots of money. It is the same money that bought land in Palestine and helped them to start a country called Israel. Why? Because you think they really care about Jewish people to have a homeland? I don't think so. It is a threat for Jewish people as well. More people are starting to hate Jewish people without knowing anything. But Jewish people didn't wanted the land. It is the Zionist movement who wanted that country. So they know when they establish a country like that in the Middle East, there will be conflict. And with those conflict, they can give excuses for any action that is happening in the region because they control the media narration as well. So they have that power. Whoever controls the media narration is getting the upper hand because people are supporting the narration, right? And that is why the Israel have scared so much of what is happening in the social media because more young people are getting to know the truth and they are not standing for it. They are not standing for genocides. They want to take action. And social media is the best place they can come together and make an impact on the world for us to move in a better direction, peaceful direction. If I am a bank owner in a very powerful situation who control the many of the assets, if I want to keep the power and control for my next generations, and if I want to help visions come true that my ancestors, my grandparents, my parents have fought for, if I want to keep maintaining that power and control, I would still support both the parties of a fight. In that way, I am safe and my power will remain with me and my family. My influence will still have in the world. And with those banking system, most of the money is created through thin air from debt. That's why countries are owing so much debt in their countries. So when you take a loan, how they give you a loan? By printing money from thin air. And from that money mostly go into AI startups and that kind of technological ways or military agendas or data centers or anywhere, right? And people are talking there's a very huge wealth creation, greatest wealth creation in our times. But that wealth, what is wealth? That wealth is created from thin air, from a paper that printed by a bank, and you owe them for the rest of your life. For whatever project you want to do, they might be monitoring you. And right now, that is why most AI startups, technological companies are thriving because they can easily access money, and from that money will circulate around the employees and more people get jobs, and from those people will survive from those jobs because people want to survive, and whatever they will have to survive, they will just apply and be a part of that company because they want to survive. And that is how slowly we are getting trapped into a system where few people can control. Maybe you have heard about a company called Palantir, and they say they support Israel no matter what, and that software is coming for most of your life, your digital presence. They collect data and spy on you. You won't be able to talk anything you want. If you make one of their heart break or make them feel threatened, they might take actions against you because they have your data. They might be listening to you right now. Even in my phone, when I speak some of the words, next thing when I open Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, I might get similar ads related to the words I spoke from my mouth because this world is driven by profit. Companies want more profit. That has become the competition. So they just get into your life, your privacy, and listen to every word you say. Even it can come into every thinking from you in the future, because when the competition get tougher and tougher, people want to predict your behavior and want to sell you the products that you think that you need to survive. So there is nothing called real cash. All the cash after The US government has backed down from gold standard. It is printed from thin air, and whoever print those money control the money flow, where I should go, which people should go. The system is not broken. System is working as perfectly as it is designed. It is designed for few people at top to make more and more profit, and they don't really care about the people who are at bottom, who are hardly surviving, because humans at that time 50 years ago, they haven't evolved up to that level to even care about the other millions of people who are starving. But now is not the 50 years ago, it is right now 2026. We have knowledge, we have access to knowledge better than our parents. We can think for ourselves what is really happening in the world, and we are getting to know the truth. And the truth is, each and every human is just like you and me. You feel pain, they feel pain. So the system should be helpful for each and every human to survive. But right now, still, the mindset from 50 years ago is still running the world. So if the same system is still running the world, same mindset is still running the world, we have to understand the patterns that is running the world. If we understand the patterns, the narration they give it to you run just like they are thinking. We should understand the pattern and we should break those patterns. And your involvement or your decision, your choice can break those patterns and create new patterns for us to survive. Because this system is fragile, it benefits few people on top, the stock markets, the Federal Reserve, or debt is everything. Like it's created from a human mind, human thinking. Long time ago, they have very less information than us right now. So that could not be the perfect system for us to survive. There can be much better other perfect systems that we can implement on this earth for us to survive. To do that, we have to come together and think and focus and create those systems and integrate to those systems slowly. And that is how we break the old patterns, old systems that keep us surviving like a loop over and over again. Because most of the time this system also run through fear. They spread fear again and again, over and over again. When people are fearful, they stop interacting with other people. They don't get to know, understand about another people. We always live in fear. So whatever our leaders give excuses as a threat, we just nod our head because we are also in fear and we want them to take action on behalf of us. But the reality can be they cultivate that fear in our mind and they carry out their agendas. Because fearful people are easily to control. Because fearless people, they question, they ask who is benefiting, who get harmed, why they get harmed when you are profiting. But fearful people don't question much. They just live their life to survive and obey whatever they show it on media. So if we have to come out of that fear, we get to understand our own mind, how fear is created within our minds, how what we see, hear, or receive from our senses affect our thinking, how some news can create fear inside us. We got to understand. Even 20 years ago when 9/11 happened, the media narration, everything pointed the finger at Muslim people. And most of the Western people have created fear for Muslim people. And they call it Islamophobia or something. And that fear is still here. There's so much news going on. Who have planned that attack? but the narration was different 20 years ago. Our parents didn't have access to this kind of technology to get information. They knew only media shows them over and over again. So imagine 20 years ago when media repeat the same thing again and again, that Muslims did this to your country. People start to believe. When they repeat that belief over and over again, it becomes truth in their head. So even after 20 years, when some people come to the media and say this 9/11 attack was carried by some organization, three-letter organization, and few countries or few governments or few agents, I don't know. Still, people get their narration cleared, but that fear, that belief planted in their head, they are not coming out from that easily, because that was repeated over and over again for long time. And most of them, when the majority of public thinks one narration as truth, some people, even when they get to know the real truth, they don't want to change the idea of truth or their perception of truth, because they feel like they were left out from that majority. That is how your mind works. Especially when anything repeated enough time, it becomes truth, and you create a trust towards that information, and it can be the truth in your head. So whatever you do, whatever whoever you speak with, that beliefs can be a part of your actions, can be a part of your thinking, and it can lead to so many things, and maybe have come up to now for you to believe this group is good, this group is bad. That division, that fear was repeated enough times in our head that we have grown enough, grown 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And when we see one news about the real truth, our mind doesn't erase those patterns that we have practiced for 50 years and replace it with one news. If that to be replaced, it should be repeated enough times, or people have to really come into and sense how you are played through media. Because I don't want to live in a society where my every move, every behavior, every thinking is monitored and show me what I need to buy to be happy or fulfilled. It's become a business in this system. Everything, because this system rewards profit, not the human well-being. This system rewards profit, competition, hard work. But each and every human is not built same. Some people don't want to do business. They just want to work and live their life normally. But even if you do a full-time job, that will might not be enough for you and for your family to survive. Now imagine now each and every human start wanted to do a business. Is it compatible for the society? No, everyone can't be a businessman. And everyone don't want to do a business. Some people want to work, support their community, and be at home, relax, spending time with their children and family. That is the real life. Humans are working right now more than the humans who worked during slavery. Because when someone controls the money supply, money circulation, they can make it hard for people to survive. So people have to run in a loop to make their survival easy. So when they do that, they don't have time to question the narration. They show it on media, and the destruction they do it. For some people in the world, most people are busy surviving, while some people are getting destruction, getting harmed from the same narration. And it is time for us to evolve in a level that feel the pain of other people, feel the pain of people who getting driven out from their homes. Imagine the pain, imagine the situation they have to face when more and more people really understood themselves, really feel the pain of other people, and when those people come into leadership positions, I believe this will end for sure. Right now, even leaders are funded by the same people, same banks, same organizations. Because even running for election needs money. Money brings you visibility. The more visibility, the more money you have to spend on media to repeat your ability to run the Congress or Parliament or president leadership or prime minister position, any position. You have to send a message to people that you are the best. To do that, you need a lot of money to make that idea keep repeating in people's head. That's why all the politicians who are running for elections need a lot of money to get the visibility, to repeat the idea in people's head that they are the best to lead them. And imagine if I am the one who is funding you to run the election and you create a gratitude towards me. There is an invisible owing to me because I support you to be in that position. I support you to get into that title. So when people receive worldly resources and titles, they get attached to it. And you create the invisible gratitude owing to myself because I am the one who funded you. And the money is printed from thin air. And even if life is a game, every player should need to learn the basic rules of that game. Even when you're going to play a game that you bought, even if you want to play on PlayStation or in a computer, in a PC, in a phone, they give you instructions to play to make it easy for you to survive in that game. Even if life is a game, each and every citizen should be given instructions to play the game fairly. But few people who are educated, financially rich, they create a system for you to survive in the game of life and they have not given the instruction to you. If you talk about stock markets, not many people know. If you talk about AI, it is growing very fast and people, it's hard for them to catch for that speed of growing. And few people who on that subject every day, they get ahead and they can create massive amount of wealth from that printed money. And that create more and more inequality in the world. And people who are oppressed again and again, one day they might stand up to strike. But when they stand up with anger, aggression, the people in power get an excuse to use their military power to oppress the same oppressed people. So right now we have to be smart. We are not fighting the existing system because fighting means more violence. When we give fighting, we receive fighting. And fighting will never end with fighting. There's a quote that anger is not settled with more anger. It's settled with patience. It's settled with strategy. And that education is here. We have access to those education very easily in a fingertip of us. Our parents didn't have that technology. If they want to organize, they have to do it in person. And it is very easy to track them and take them down. Because they also oppress and they use the violence or their aggression to fight the existing system. But right now we don't have to fight. We have the knowledge, education, the wisdom to understand and slowly create much better systems for us to survive. So we can slowly integrate, adapt into those new systems. When we adapt slowly, the old systems will fade slowly, and they have no excuses to use violence against the people who do no harm. That is how evolving humans evolve in a much better direction. Maybe when that happens, even if there's aliens, they will understand these humans are wise now. They can clearly think. They can clearly understand the media narration. They can critically think for themselves what is important, what is not important, what is moral, what is not moral, what is ethical, what is not ethical. Not because some person who can speak will go into the stage and say, this is ethical, we have the moral army, best moral army in the world, we are the best people in the world, these people are not good enough to live on this earth. When more and more people understand that human life should be the number one, maybe then aliens might come to this earth and help us to survive and thrive in a better way. Because in my opinion, aliens maybe exist. Because this universe is so huge. Imagine, even if there's aliens, they are also created by the same creator. If you believe in a God, if you believe in a God who created all this, those aliens are also created by the same God of yours. Even right now, even in this world, Israel Prime Minister says that they are the chosen people. How come? When each and every human have the same mechanism, same system, same energy inside themselves, how can an educated person come into the media and say they are the chosen ones? What made them chosen? A book written by a human who lived 33,000 years ago? Because we communicate from words, and words, we give meaning to words, and words can be used to manipulate you. We can tell lies, we can say truth. It is our choice. And if I want to benefit some in other areas of my life, I might be lying because I am getting benefits, my worldly resources or my power to protect my attachments. When humans learn about themselves, their attachments, their mind, then they will understand the pain of another human. And when there is peace on this world, then maybe aliens will come and give us better technology to find better solution for our energy resources, energy problems, or better way of sharing. We don't know. But humans have that capacity with them already. And you clearly understanding we are evolving as a civilization. There were much better civilizations before us, but they are not here. They had different kind of technology for them to survive. But people are not here because they were morally declined even though they are advanced with technology. And right now we are also advancing in technology and declining in morally because we reward profit, we reward competition to be number one. And when we fight for being number one, we want to keep maintaining number one. When we fight and give our time to maintain that number one spot, we might be forgetting that people who live in another country also kind of human, just like you and me. When more and more people understand that those people who are affected also humans, just like you and me, then people will stand up and they will ask for better leaders, better systems for us to survive. And that is how exactly we are evolving in a much better direction. We can evolve towards destruction, hate, division, or we can evolve towards love, unity, and harmony. That balance in us is much more important to maintain this civilization. because technology is physical. We use it for our survival, and survival is not the only thing we are here to do. We are creative beings, we are spiritual beings. We become spiritual beings by being moral, by understanding another human, by understanding the pain of another human. If we are evolving, we evolve in spiritually and also in technologically. And right now we are evolving very fast in technologically and very slow in spiritually. So what happens when humans lose the balance? For example, in your life, when you start to eat, you have a limit you can eat. If you overeat, it is harmful for you. So there's a limit. In everything we do, there's a limit. And we are nature, and all humans come together, they are also nature. And as a humanity, we are evolving as a civilization. In that civilization also, we should maintain balance. If we neglect one area and only thinking about profit and being number one, then the balance of human and balance of humanity evolving collapse. When we lose the balance of this evolution, the nature will take into its hand and make it balance, because that is one universal law. Humans must maintain balance for their survival, and also this world, this earth should maintain the balance as one humanity. And our actions, the way of our survival, make it lose that balance, the nature will balance it. And when nature takes into its hand, people, small humans, have no option, no military power, no best government in the world can control you, can control the nature. They won't be able to stop what is happening through nature, because nature's job is always to maintain the balance of this earth. And we are also nature. We are nature who can make conscious decisions. If we are evolving, if we want to survive, it has to be in harmony with nature. If we forget the nature and we try to become the only nature and we only care about more profit, more wealth, more generational income, slowly more and more people want the same thing, because they don't know who we are. They have not received enough guidance for them to handle life. They have seen a system. They see few people who in this industry make millions of money. From that money they can survive easily. More and more people, the best minds, get into those positions and they strive to be number one, and more people do the same thing. Then we lose the balance, because most of the people won't be number one. But we have forgotten in that progress, we have forgotten in that path, that we are not here to number one. We are here to be you, to experience you. And survival is just the foundation. After we surviving, we got a job to do, to go inwards. Humans have potential to understand all this universe without doing experiment, without going to moon or anything. Humans have the potential to get to know the truth through themselves, because whatever truth comes from another human is their perception, because they are also humans who born without knowing anything at one time in this lifetime, in this evolution, without knowing anything. They also didn't know anything. So if they do experiments and tell you, we can sometimes we can accept it as truth. But also humans have the ability to know the truth for themselves, because when you know the truth for yourself, it is clear to you. When you hear someone saying the truth, sometimes it is hard to believe that is the real truth, but if you know it for yourself, You know it is the truth. And humans have that ability. And we live in a very golden time. There are enough resources for us. And there are maybe aliens they are looking or waiting for help us when we start to evolve in a better direction. Because when we survive easily, we have all the time in the world to really know what it means to be a human. Maybe that is the purpose of humanity all along. But we are still stuck in survival from the systems that created by few people, few bankers some time ago. And maybe we are still stuck in those systems and we are unable to come out those systems. But my friend, humans have the knowledge, we have the access to education, knowledge and anything. And we have the easy access to connect throughout the world. And it is the golden time, it is the best time. Even our parents didn't have the technology, this luxury, and we have it right now. And more people are awakening for the truth, and when more awakened people come together, we can easily decide how we want to evolve, in what direction we want to evolve, how we create better systems for each and every human to survive. When each and everyone is survive, they don't have a reason to fight. When we don't have a reason to fight, some of the existing organizations, systems can't survive the way they have survived for maybe last 100 years. It has become a threat to them. Then they try to do everything in their power to stop that. It is like few people versus 8 billion people, and they can easily control us by making us fearful and divided, and we don't speak up. But yet we can choose what we want to do, how we want to evolve, what kind of a world we want to leave for our children to survive and thrive in this world. So right now the choice is in your hand, my friend. See you next time.